Episode 33 is dedicated to the greatest 33 of all time.
Steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ. Lays it in. Right up 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And
look at that.
Has a 1-point lead.
Every time I think he puts his foot out of bounds. Every single time I think Bird is out of bounds. Look at these Boston fans kissing, rejoicing. Number 33, Larry Bird. What's wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 33 begins now.
When I played, Larry Bird was the only one I feared. A lot of black guys always ask me, could Larry Bird really play that good? I said, man, Larry Bird was so good, it's frightening.
Look at some of these plays. Bird was unbelievable. Growing up in the 80s in Boston, Massachusetts, boy, was I spoiled. I got Larry Bird. Look at this guy. I'll tell you why, in my opinion, Larry Bird is one of the greatest. Well, probably because I grew up with him, so I'm biased. But he just didn't look as athletic as the other people out there. But somehow this guy poured his heart into it. Larry Bird was on the floor more during the game than he was standing up, meaning he was always diving for balls. He was always being as aggressive, and he was in on every single play. He didn't lay back. I watch players now, they lay back. They shoot, and they just wait and see, and if it doesn't go in, they just start running back to play defense. Bird followed every shot. There's sometimes you'll see him, he'll dive out of bounds and save a ball, and then he jumps up and he runs back and he's involved in the play on the other end of the court. The guy was unbelievable. And he played for the entire, one team his entire career. One team. That's it. And he retired on top. That's the way to do it.
Did it.
Larry Bird, man. This is not a sports podcast, in case you're wondering. But I just had to play tribute to Larry Bird. Let's look at some more of these clips. This is my friend Kirk on instrumentals right now. Look at this. Bird, the way he fakes people out. You can watch some of these plays over and over. And, okay, there's a shot, but let me see if a fake comes up. He fakes me on the replays. Look at this guy. Look at him. Always in people's faces. A trash talker. Shit talker, if you may. Look at him. On the floor. On the floor again. Look at that. Now he's fighting. Look how he fights. Oh boy, he's some of the worst fighting in the NBA. Him and Magic. Oh, this is the Lambeer. Look at this. He punched Lambeer. And he didn't even get thrown out of the game. Nobody got thrown out of the game. Let me see if I can find this clip of Bill Lambeer was a dirty player, according to Larry Bird and a lot of the Celtics. Again, this is not a sports podcast. I'm getting beyond this in a minute. I just had to dedicate episode 33 to the greatest 33 of all time, Larry Bird. That's it. And you can see me. I'm wearing my Boston Celtics t-shirt. I don't dare wear this in Los Angeles. I'll get stabbed. I grew up chanting LA sucks at the Boston Garden. I watched Bird play live. I saw him his rookie year. I saw him on a fast break. He did a reverse dunk, and he missed it. And they booed. They booed Bird. Interesting guy. Grew up in French Lick, Indiana. Went to, Indiana State University. Is that where he played? He went there, hated it, because he was from like this small hick town, and I guess the city was too much for him, so he left. He went back to French Lick, became a trashman. Picked up trash. The greatest basketball player of all time picked up trash. And then his coach begged him to come back or convinced him to come back. Let me tell you something. If I ended my career today and started picking up trash, or at any point, nobody would beg me to come back. They'd say, yeah, I guess that's right. He should be picking up trash. The guy who is always yelling on stage is now picking up trash? Shocking. Shocking. I guess I saw something in Bird. I guess they were right. But these guys they would dive for the balls. They were very physical. I know the NBA is physical now, but they were they'd get into fights and then nobody was thrown out. Let me see if I can find this clip and we can get back to some of these other. Go online and watch some of Larry Bird's, greatest clips. There's one that plays Dream On with Eminem, and that's where that clip of Magic Johnson came from at the beginning. That was the rub on Bird. The rub was he was too good. He was the greatest white basketball player of all time. Now, race was discussed differently back then. I'm sure you wouldn't say that now. But even Larry Bird said, I have a quote. This is Larry Bird said, the one thing that that always bothered me when I played in the NBA was I really got irritated when they put a white guy on me. Bird explained, according to an ESPN write-up. I still don't understand why. A white guy would come out, and I'd always ask him, what do you have a problem with your coach? Did your coach do this to you? And he'd go, no. And I'd say, come on. You got a white guy coming out here to guard me? You got no chance. For some reason, that always bothered me when I was playing against a white guy. That's Larry Bird. These are their quotes. I thought, should I edit out that line and just say from Magic Johnson saying I feared Bird? But I go, I'm not gonna edit it. That's even more disgusting. Anyway, Bird, just absolutely amazing. And now let's show a clip of Bird being tackled by Bill Laimbeer and the announcer Johnny Most. I mean, every sports announcer should sound like this guy. Ready? Queuing up the clip here.
Oh, it goes to Bird in the corner.
Oh, hold on a second. I just want you to know, I was in Maine last week, and I spent my vacation editing these Bird clips, and then finishing a book. I know everyone's very excited. I'll give a quick teaser. This is the book I'll be discussing on this podcast. The Sociopath Next Door by Martha Stout. Dr. Martha Stout, Harvard professor. I think she went to Harvard, too. And I've got some scary facts for you. But this is, I spent my vacation, I was in Maine last week with my family, and I was putting together these clips, and I went through and I just watched old Bird clips. It just really brings me back. And then my parents said, hey, when we get back to the family house, could you go through the basement, go through some of your boxes, and throw out anything that's junk? Well, I'll tell you something. There's no junk in my past. I had so many boxes of old comedy notes, clippings of articles of other comedians. Before I even got into comedy, I was doing research. I was researching other comedians. I was reading articles. My dad would send me clippings from the New York Times. All my old comedy tapes. Robin Williams, who would have been 70 this week. Robin Williams. I'll put up a picture of the what are they called? Cassettes. Robin Williams, 70. Man. I put together, actually, for my Patreon, for the MVPs, the most, the high level, a clip of some of the clippings, some of my writings, pictures of old checks from when I did stand-up in Boston, Comedy Connection, checks for $25, $50. Basically, same amount of money the local clubs pay me now here in Los Angeles. It doesn't bother me. I know, these clubs, I think I'm fortunate that I'm playing these clubs. I enjoy playing these clubs. It's social for me. And, I think I probably got Teen Wolf because Jeff Davis saw me at a local comedy club. I definitely got a deal with CBS syndication for my own talk show with Oprah's company and Ashton Kutcher years ago because somebody saw me at the Improv. So it's really not about the pay, but it is unbelievable that the pay has not changed in 25 years. So I'll get into that. And so, but part of this was I did commentary over a video. Boy, my head is all over the place. It really is. I've got to settle my head down. Come on, Orny, settle it down. I'm out here. It's really early. It's before 8 a.m. I got up early. I shaved, and I'm here because I don't want to. It gets really too hot in this little metal canister that I call Big Yellow. I'm back in Los Angeles. I'm in Big Yellow, my studio, and it's hot. It gets really hot. So I'm out here before I sizzle. So I put together there was a point where I really thought I was getting into theaters as a performer, stand-up comedian. My Showtime special is out. I felt there was some momentum behind me, and I started to do some small theaters, and I was selling some tickets, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I put together a video? Like a lot of people say, hey, this guy's been, like they'll show a clip package of what they've done maybe, and I thought, wouldn't it be better if I showed a clip package of everybody before me that brought me to where I am? And that's what I did. I put together this video that would introduce me. It was like a 6-minute video that had Robin Williams, it had Joan Rivers, it had George Carlin, Sam Kinison, it had David Letterman, which, you know, as a kid I admired, and I would do his monologue the next day in school, and Johnny Carson in Spanish class. The teacher would allow me to do jokes from the monologue. I would stay up and watch those. This is when I'm in high school. If you question my path, do no longer. When I was going through all my boxes in the basement, these notes, I mean, I had boxes of notes, newspaper clippings, glued to a piece of paper with notes around it, jokes. Some jokes I submitted to TV shows like The Tonight Show. I'd submit them Saturday Night Live for Weekend Update. And then some I did on my own. But binders, even here in Los Angeles, I have binders of when I would do The Tonight Show, like a 3-inch binder of every joke and the evolution of the joke and where it would go in the routine and moving things and trying it out and testing it one night here and then another night there and then in the same night doing it 3 times, moving stuff around. I kept just for a 5-minute routine. It would take me months to put together. You want to know how much is that the stakes on that one moment when you walk out on stage? I remember one time I did a Tonight Show with Barack Obama. And they said, they introduced me, Jay introduced me. I walked out and somebody was yelling Obama. He had already been on. He was on the previous segment. And the guys, and I'm thinking, they're going to stop this taping, right? And throw this guy out. I got heckled on the Tonight Show. And they didn't, in my head the whole time. I have so many stories I could tell you about when I did Letterman, when I did the Tonight Show. Maybe that's another episode because that's not what I was intending to talk about on this podcast. I'm still in the middle of Bird. Then I got to get onto my book, The Sociopath Next Door. I wish if you're watching this video, and the video will be up on Patreon in a couple of days once I edit it. And it's only $5 a month if you want the video. Check it out. But there is for the MVPs, which is more a month. I put up this video with me analyzing why I put together this video, showing all the great comics in a row. And it's sort of, if you watch it, you can see where I'm loud like Kinison, and then maybe I'm sort of like I mean, I can't compare myself, but I've pulled from all these people. Steve Martin, the quirkiness. You know, certainly I get the likability from him. Eddie Murphy. Oh, and then I showed a tape, the old tape I had of Eddie Murphy in this video. And, you know, some of the titles of his jokes, can't even say those words anymore. But comedy has evolved. I've evolved. Human beings have evolved. We will continue to evolve. Although I think we're probably not evolving because we're back to masks. We're mandated masks again. Masks in the gym yesterday. Masks when I went to food shopping. I feel so disconnected from people when I have this stupid effing mask on. I hate the mask. Sick of it. I got vaccinated. I feel safe. It's too much. Too much. You put that mask on, you can't even think anymore. I forgot how to shop with a mask on again. I know that sounds silly. Now, I don't mind when I'm flying, because I flew back from Boston on Monday. Guy next to me had a wheezy cough. His body would shake. And he was a young kid. Oh, I could see on his phone, he was kid was sexting. Horrible sexting, too. I wanted to interrupt him. Hey, dude, come on. Let me show. I'm an adult. Let me show you how to woo a woman with words. I mean, it was so silly. And how did he not know how did he not notice that I was? That's how unaware people are. The kid is sexting with his phone out in front of him, and I'm just peering over, looking to my left, going, look at this kid. Horrible sexting skills. Good looking kid in shape. I think he was an athlete. And I go, this guy's got COVID. And I'm texting people on the ground going, I might slam his head into a wall right now. And then I became a double masker on the plane. I double masked. He didn't notice. Double masked. And he would do it. The flight attendant would walk by. I'm like, she's got to throw him out. I have too much status on Delta to sit next to somebody like this. The hell are they doing in the front of the plane? So we're back. Because apparently people don't like medicine. I don't know. I get the flu shot every year. You put anything in my arm at this point. I don't care. Just want this world to be open. LA, we're doing shows this weekend. This weekend I'll be at the Improv. I'll be at the Laugh Factory. I'll be at the Roosevelt Hotel again. I'm sure I'll end up doing the Whitley at some point. And if we're indoors, we've limited seating again. We're back to limited seating. Limited seating and people wearing masks. Well, listen, I'm going to do shows this weekend, and if it depresses me to look out and see people in masks, I'm not going back. I'm done. I've got some new dates I need to add to my tour calendar. I will be next month in August, Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Zanies, one of the hottest clubs in the country right now. I will be there next month. Then I go on to, I'll be at the Stress Factory in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Then I'm on to West Palm Beach, the Improv in Florida. It'll be hotter than inside a Big Yellow right now. I have a private show I'm doing in Hawaii for a corporation. I do a lot of those. I don't tell you about those, but I do a lot of those. So and I need to put those dates up on my calendar because, let me get back to Bird. I'm just looking at all my notes. I've got so much to go over. The problem is, when I started out, doing this podcast, the original intention was to go out on the road, record people, interesting conversations, and bring them back to Los Angeles here and play them and talk around them, sort of like really like a produced clip, like my thoughts around it. I would do voiceover, add music, and then I'd have a guest in, or I would just talk like this and talk about the clips. But it was also supposed to sound like a phone conversation. Now, when I started to bring in guests, I immediately noticed that nobody talks like they're on the phone. In fact, I'm monitoring myself, monitoring. I mean, I can see the spelling. Why can't I say it? What's wrong with my mouth? That stupid kid on the plane gave me COVID mouth. Can't say words anymore. So I'm monitoring. What was I saying? Could a producer in my ear tell me what I'm saying? What was saying? So I'm sort of listening. Here's a tip, by the way, if you're a stand-up comic. Because guy at the gym the other day, a young comic, came up to me. And first he offered me advice on how I was doing the lat pull down. Where you pull the bar behind you. It's for your back muscles. Really, if you want the best back muscles, go into rowing. Go to Harvard and get on the row team. But he goes, you really should be. I look at this guy. This kid's not even in shape. You really should be more, lean forward a little bit more and arch your back out. And I'm going, this kid, I got to say something I've wanted to say to people for years. Because he's a young comic. I know him. He's produced shows in Los Angeles. So I said to him, I go, you don't look like you should be giving advice at the gym. Like, you're not in that great a shape. Like, you better be the man. Sometimes I think I should just walk around the gym and just give people advice. Hey, let me help you out with that calf raise there because you're not squeezing at the right point. And there I am with my little chicken calves. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go around and give people. I'm looking for some sort of fluid, maybe coffee. Well, we're 20 minutes in, and I have certainly settled my brain a little bit. But I hope I don't fall asleep. That's why people go, why are you so animated on stage? I'll fall asleep if I'm not animated. That's the truth. I have all my note cards I'm just thumbing through. Because really, so much to go over on this podcast. And I got to get back to that video. But it's up. There's a video I put up on my Patreon for the MVPs, the extremely frustrated group of people. And I go over, this video that I put together, and I sort of talk about my comedy influences, and I show you some stuff from my past that I found in boxes in my parents' basement outside of Boston. And so, very personal video. I wouldn't really feel comfortable sharing it with the mass. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable just putting it up on YouTube. I feel like people that are on my Patreon are more supportive. Maybe I don't know. I'm probably an idiot. I should probably just put everything out there. But that's how I feel. So that's what I'm doing. And then I watch the video makes me emotional every single time. You know, because the background music is "Nobody Does It Better," which was nobody does it better. Well, certainly somebody sings it better than that, but it makes me emotional. So I played it, and I didn't realize that really my eyes just started to, get tears. They're doing it now. So then I played the video again, on the video, showing my reaction to me watching this thing. I don't know. It's there. It's there. But Robin Williams, and I briefly discuss it, and I wrote a blog about it once, the night I met Robin, and what he meant to me, and the connection I feel I had with him. And yeah, he would have been 70 this week. 70 years old, Robin. He died of, he took his own life, but he was suffering from something called Lewy body dementia. Lewy body. Now I have Jewy body. What's Jewy body? Well, I'll give you an example. I went to the gym yesterday. I worked out, and after the gym, I was craving something called a falafel sandwich. I go into the falafel sandwich place. I knew it was a mistake. I knew it. I go, this is a mistake. This one falafel sandwich is going to set me back for days. But I walk in, I see plenty of skinny people enjoying their falafel sandwiches. Some even have a side of French fries. I didn't even finish the falafel sandwich. I went to the gym, I felt good, and I self-sabotaged with a falafel sandwich. I will now be fat for the next 3 days. Why? Because I have Jewy body. I have Jewy body. Doesn't matter what I do. I mean, people go, that's what I mean. Like, don't give me advice. If I tell you, like I said to somebody recently, I said, I feel a little heavy this week. And she said, well, are you eating more? Are you working out? Oh, that's how it works? Oh, I didn't realize that after all these years. I mean, if I just eat less and work out more, maybe? Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't come easy for Jewy body. It doesn't come easy. A lot of these people at the gym giving advice, you would kind of look like that even if you did a lot less. And then there's a lot of people taking supplements. I don't cheat. Not that supplements is cheating, but you know what I mean. When I took the SATs, I studied for them. I got a book that gave you literature and facts and exposed you to things that might have been in the test. The rich kids took Princeton Review, which taught you how to take the test, how to answer multiple choice questions, how to eliminate, sort of how to beat the system. I'm not beating the system. I do it my way. When I was a kid, you could buy baseball cards one pack at a time, and you would try so hard to get certain cards. It was so much fun. You check the back of the team card, each player that you have. You would trade with people. Then one year, the MLB said, hey, here's the entire set of cards. You can just pay $300-$400. And guess what? Rich kids got the entire season of cards in one. That's cheating. That's not the fun of it. That's not the spirit of it. And it's all going to come along. What I'm talking about, it's all going to come back when I discuss The Sociopath Next Door, this book, which I'm now thinking is going to be a multiple podcast discussion. All right? So, yeah, I've got Jewy body. People tell me, oh, you doing that? So many people don't give advice. We don't want advice. If I want advice, I didn't say, hey, I think I feel heavier this week. You have any tips? Any tips? I didn't ask that. I was throwing it out there to hear one of two things. First, I want to hear, you look great. Don't worry about it. Or it happens to all of us. I don't need you to give me dieting advice. On a serious note, because I was in Maine last week on the beach with my shirt off, I experienced a lot of body shaming. Mostly from myself. And don't tell me that Jewy body. There's probably videos on YouTube that have millions of views with that exact premise. I know it's not. I'm not asking for a Pulitzer for joke writing for Jewy body. I know it's unoriginal. Don't write me emails telling me that the guy who drives the forklift at your work said Jewy body already. And if he did, he probably meant it anti-Semitic, because Jews don't drive forklifts. Can we go back to joking? Is that allowed? Remember that episode? Where is that? Where is that? Where is that?
Orny made a joke. Yeah. Orny made a joke. Yeah. Orny made a joke.
Right there.
Yeah. Orny made a joke. Yeah. Orny made a joke. Yeah. Orny made a joke right there. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something. Bringing this way down, fading out, and it's done. I'll tell you, if you ever go to see one of my comedy shows, this is what it's like. It's all over the place. I open up talking about Bird. The next thing you know, I'm on Lewy body dementia, which sounds horrible. I feel like I have COVID dementia, or maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe it's time to throw it all in. Maybe it's time for me to become a trash man, like Larry Bird, number 33. Larry Bird. Where are the other notes on Bird? Yeah, I said all that stuff. So, Bill Laimbeer played for the Pistons. Dirty team. But man, I loved the competitiveness. And Bird was a trash talker. He loved to get in your face. Like he'd get the ball and he'd look at the defender and say, "You're like 3 feet away from me. Don't you? You should get closer." And the guy would move closer, and then Bird would shoot it, and it'd go in the basket. The guy was remarkable. Like I said when I was watching some of those clips, he would... let me put some of those back on for a second. Now, forget... How do I... Okay, let's see. Let's watch some more of these great plays of Bird for a second. Just see if I can... So I can give you some examples. Like, look at these, doing passes behind his back to Chief. There's another one to Chief, behind his back. Like he just somehow, look at this play. Look at this. Unbelievable. I wish I knew how to describe play by play. It's all happening so fast. But he was like a magician. He would trick you. I don't know if it was a look, but I'm telling you, watch some of the plays where like he fakes left, goes right, puts the ball behind his back, whatever it is, like it does a stutter step. You think he's passing it. Sometimes he'll draw 3 men in. Like he was so like charismatic out there. He drew everybody, the entire team, all 5 players would just start guarding him. People would come off the bench and start guarding Bird, and then there's 4 other people he can pass it to under the net. And you'll watch it over and over again, and he'll fool you on the replays. Bird fools you on the replays. That's what I wanted to say. I don't think I could have said it any better, even if I rehearsed that before this podcast in the shower. That's it. Pull that clip. Pull it. I don't know who I'm talking to. Pull it. But here's Bird, Laimbeer. This is the Pistons. Oh. Where is it? I got to show you this. So I think this is from 1987. This is a video that I put together a collage. This is a collage I found in the basement when I was going through my boxes. I think this is 1987. I believe so. Anyway, it's a Boston Celtics collage. And you can see, well, there's Bill Riley. He was a Lakers coach, always well-dressed. And then there's pictures of, well, let me play this thing and I'll just walk you through it. This is in the basement of my family home, and I'm showing you a video of a collage, old clippings from the Boston Globe. Celtics get even with the 70. Hold on. Look at that typo. With the 75ers. Celtics get even with the 75ers. Wait, is that because 88-75 win? That's a typo. Is that a typo, or are they trying to be funny? Should be 76ers. Celtics get even with the 75ers. 88-75 win. That's got to be a typo. Or is that... I'll have to look into this because I can see the print on the article. So maybe they're trying to be funny calling them the 75ers instead of the 76ers. But, wow, okay. And then here's a collage. It's got box scores. There's Larry Bird. Wow. So anyway, I was a kid. Love my Celtics. There it is. See you Sunday. Celtics top 76ers, 88-75. So they got it right there. And then it says this was 1982. Because there's a thing that says 1982. Anyway, in case people want to know that I'm human, I actually am human. So let's get back to this. The Bill Laimbeer. So he played for the Pistons, and what happened was he was dirty. He was dirty. But I guess Bird, I watched some clips. Bird really didn't like him. Like, because he would play, like, it's one thing to play dirty, like, and trash talking. Like, sometimes Bird would say to other players, is your mom watching tonight? Because I'm going to embarrass you. I want her to see. You know, like, there's that. There's some elbows, you know. But Laimbeer tried to hurt you. Like, when you were coming down, Bird said he would put his foot out so you would land on the foot and injure yourself and be out of the game. He was dirty. And so at some point, he really rips Bird down. Bird's, you know, under the basket. And Laimbeer just it's flagrant. And you can hear Johnny Mo goes crazy. You want to know where I get my enthusiasm for life and for my art, for stand-up comedy? It's like people, Johnny Most, who just so passionate about his job and about what he's covering. I love it. I love it. And so you'll hear him going crazy. And then a couple of games later, Robert Parrish, Chief, 0-0, and I circle it on the video so you can see it. Chief just starts punching Laimbeer for no reason. Like it wasn't, I'm sure the whole game and the whole season it was like a makeup punching match. It's like hockey. But doesn't seem like there was something that happened in that moment that would have caused him to just start punching Laimbeer. It was great. But here's the best part. Nobody got thrown out. These guys used to punch each other and nobody got thrown out. I love that. I miss that about the NBA. So this is Larry Bird. People listening, you'll just listen to the excitement of Johnny Most as Larry Bird is pulled down by Bill Laimbeer. Then Larry Bird punches Laimbeer. Then they're separated. And Larry Bird throws a ball at Laimbeer. And then a few clips later, or seconds later, it's 2 games later, actually. Chief, 0-0, punches Laimbeer.
Oh, it goes to Bird in the corner. And we're starting to see the bang-bang stuff now.
Bang
Rodman is
stuff.
all over Bird. Ceasting, goes baseline, goes underneath. Dishes off now to Bird.
And there is a violent knockdown by Laimbeer. Oh my! A completely unnecessary foul by Laimbeer, and he pulled Bird to the ground. He slammed him to the ground. The yellow, gutless way they do things here.
Yellow gutless.
The yellow, gutless way they do things here.
You tell him, Joe. What did it?
Yellow, gutless way they do things here.
What?
Be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
The yellow, gutless way they do things here.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
The yellow, gutless way they do things here.
You tell him. You tell him. Now, in case you're wondering, because I was curious, is that racist when you call somebody yellow gutless? Does this stem back to some sort of Asian hate? So, I do the research for you. All right? Maybe I don't do the research for you. Okay. It means you are calling the person a coward. Most often the word yellow-bellied is used. It's probably akin to the term lily-livered. Oh, I'm going to start calling people that. You lily-livered, yellow
You
lily.
can't be serious, man. You cannot be
Oh,
serious.
I'm serious, you lily-livered. Lily-livered. Oh, boy. Hold on. Which means weak and cowardly. The color yellow has always been associated with treachery, cowardice, jealousy, and inconsistency. You yellow...
Yellow, gutless way they do things here.
That's right, in Detroit. That's the yellow, gutless way they do things. They just pull people down like that. Flagrant fouls. Let me tell you something, Bill Lambier. You livered, you jaundice, yellow-bellied coward. How about that? Now listen to this clip.
And there's a war going on between Lambier and the parish.
Oh, here's where Parrish, I have it circled on the video. Parrish is about to unload. And again, this is before MMA. You got to see how people used to throw punches before MMA. And if you don't subscribe to my Patreon and you can't watch this video, go pull some of these clips. It's fun. It's a part of our history. In fact, when I was in Maine, I was sharing them with my nephews that are 12, and they love it. Respect your history.
Play by Darren Day. It doesn't fall. The tip by Parrish. He can't get it to fall, and Parrish takes Lambier to the ground with a right forearm. Well, they had said...
Look at this. People wearing the same T-shirt I'm wearing right now.
Lambier, he had it coming. It's
Kevin McHale. Boston Celtics.
Yeah. He had it coming.
And Parrish said, I had enough for you, Lambier, and he just let him have it.
He knocked him out.
Retaliation for what happened in the other game with Larry Bird.
Bill Lambier. This is Bill Lambier. He's saying it's retaliation.
But it wasn't going to stop me from playing.
Anyway, you got to... It's pretty amazing. Anyway, this is episode 33, What's Wrong with Orny Adams, and it's dedicated to the greatest 33 of all time. The greatest. Larry Bird. Thank you for all the joy you brought me as a kid. Remember them putting that 16th banner up in Boston Garden? I remember watching Red Auerbach. Red Auerbach used to... Anytime he knew the Celtics, the victory was imminent, it was coming, he would light a cigar. And I saw that live at Boston Garden. They used to let people smoke cigars at the Boston Garden. Then remember, you used to have to exit out through this tunnel, and it was all congested, and you really prayed nobody was going to punch you in the face. Especially if they were coming from like the opposing team, or if the Celtics lost and people were upset. And now it's not even the Boston Garden, it's the TD something. Thank you, corporations, for just putting your name all over stuff. Well, let's get serious for a moment before I get on to this book, which I'm not going to be able to cover everything. And as you can see, I took extensive notes. This is how I read. So if you ever lend me a book and you say, hey, can I get that book back? Probably not, because I earmark things. I highlight a lot. I'm a bit of an over-highlighter at times. But I'll be reading some of these facts. So we'll bring this into episode 34. I already have an outfit for 34, because I went back to Salisbury Beach, where I used to go every summer as a kid, and I bought a Salisbury Beach t-shirt. So I will be wearing that. I was going to wear it in this episode, but I wanted to wear my Celtics t-shirt. And I played skee-ball. I went back to Salisbury Beach, and it's a bit run down. It doesn't look like much has changed. I played skee-ball, probably the same wooden balls I used when I was a kid. And I played, I kind of suck at it now. But I won a bunch of tickets, and I gave it to the kid next to me, who was thrilled. Because there I was, 50 cents for 9 balls. And I don't know if it's rigged. Every time I went to roll it, I feel like at the last second, my pinky sabotaged it and said, no, I'm gonna put a little weight right there and make it just go into the 10-point gutter. That's a nice thing about skee ball. You get points no matter what. So let's, on a serious note, and I don't even want to play serious music to get into this clip, but lost another listener, unfortunately, and friend. Robbie Steinhardt, who was the violinist for Kansas, who I met after one of my shows when I was doing a joke about Kansas and asked if anybody was from Kansas, even though I was in Florida, and he raised his hand and the whole table laughed. And then after the show, he said, not only am I from Kansas, I was in the band Kansas. I said, oh yeah, which one? He goes, the violinist. I'm like, well, that's the whole band. Dust in the Wind. All we are is dust in the wind, which I guess Robbie is now. I spoke to his wife. I guess she's a widow now. Last night for a couple of hours. And I noticed she liked it better when I was joking. I said, hey, when he died, was he wearing my t-shirt? Because she was telling me what a fan he was. And, and then, I don't know. I don't want to go over it. It was a private conversation, but Robbie, I mean, that the whole song is the violinist. There's a guy in the band who's wearing an eye patch, and you can't take your eyes off the guy playing the violin, Robbie, R-O-B-B-Y. Do not spell it R-O-B-B-I-E. He'll come back from wherever he is right now in the afterlife, and he'll correct you. Robbie, several shows came to. We would have great conversations. The only thing I never understood, he would always call me right before a show. Say, oh, I see you have a show tonight. I'm like, yeah, I'm backstage. I need to get ready. Like I always thought as a performer, he would know not to call then. I meant to tell him that, but he's since passed away, so I'm not going to be able to tell him that. But yeah, man, it was a rough couple of last months for Robbie, and I'm sorry that he suffered the way he did. He was in the hospital when he passed away. He was in the hospital for about 60 days. You can read about it, what he went through, what he died of, but he's gone. He's gone. The one thing I was curious, because his wife told me the entire story, play by play, did he know he was dying? And she said it really happened fast. He had made a phone call and everything was fine. And 6 minutes later, he was dead. And he was in the hospital. You think that can't happen. Like if the vitals start going in a certain direction, things should start beeping. People should fly in there and take care of this. And I said, did he know? Because you always hear these stories about these people that pass away and they know. Like, I want that. I want like 5 minutes where I just sit there and go, oh, it's over. I don't have to worry about paying another bill. I don't have to worry about another streaming service not giving me a special. I don't have to worry about not getting spots this week at this club. I don't have to worry about, did I upset somebody? I don't have to worry about, did my career go as far as it should have gone? I don't have to worry about finding love. I don't have to worry about disappointing people. I don't have to worry about, is this podcast going to ever take off? I don't have to worry about, am I fat after I eat falafel? I don't have to worry about going to the gym. I don't have to worry about anything. It's over. It's over. I just want to sit there and for 5 minutes, I want my body. I imagine this is what it's like to be on heroin. Just your body's just humming. You just go, it's over. Oh, this is so beautiful. I have no idea where I'm going. I don't have to worry about the world. I don't have to worry about another election or politics or if the mask mandate's going to come back. Oh, there's nothing I have to worry about. I have to worry about gardening. I have to worry about why is there a new chip in the paint on the wall? How did this happen? Why isn't my computer booting up? Why am I not getting all my text messages? I don't have to worry about any of this stuff. I don't have to worry about the latest technology. I don't have to worry about, am I posting stuff on Instagram at the right time? I'm just going to sit there for it's going to be the 5 most beautiful minutes of my life. Oh, I can't wait. I want that. Oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die suddenly in a car accident or something like that. I just want 5 minutes of just nothing. Oh, just sit there and go. I gave it my best shot. I was as good as I could be to people. Nothing left. That's what I want. It's like meditation right now, isn't it? You are getting very tired and bored of my stand-up comedy and my routines. Oh, I feel relaxed. That was very, cathartic or meditative, or I just released. Maybe I'm in my 5 minutes. Is there a clock ticking down? Is this it for me? Is this it? If you want to keep in touch with me, the email is what'swrong@ornyadams.com. What'swrong@ornyadams.com. You can go to teamwhatswrong.com, and that should have links for all the audio, which is free. Will continue to be free. The video is up on Patreon, patreon.com/Orny. And I got to show you this. This is a picture of my computer when I was in college. You can see it says Emory on it. But look at this. Look at this Mac. This is what it used to look like. Look at that mouse. It's crazy. I'm going to clean this thing up. I think it's probably worth some money. Boy, was I proud that I went to Emory. That's what used to have this like floppy disk you'd have to put in. And then you'd have to, like if you had Mac Write, you had to boot it up with one disk, then another disk would be the dictionary, then another disk would be spell check, and then you have to save it on another. You're constantly going like this. There was no real hard drive, you know. So I thought that was cool. That's in the basement at my parents' house too. And I don't know, I can just continue to share stuff with you. I don't know what to do with this. I mean, it's really some really cool archival stuff. And it made me realize I really love stand-up comedy. And I picked the right profession, even though it torments me to death every single day, the injustice of the comedy world. I had a discussion with another comic recently about the politics at local clubs here in Los Angeles. I didn't realize it's so bad. I can't imagine what people think of me. They must hate me because I'm not part of the cool group. So for some reason, I've been left out. But I mean, that's why I went into comedy, because I was left out. I was left out in high school, but I enjoyed it. But these people that weren't controlling my future in high school, they weren't controlling my grades. Feels like the comedy community sort of bands together and blocks some people. We were talking about one specific comic that is getting, blocked from getting spots because other comics don't want to work with that particular comic. So, went back to Salisbury Beach. I ate beach pizza. What's beach pizza? What's beach? It's a square pizza, and it's got the sauce is very sweet. It's like, I think it's lower than frozen pizza. But anyway, I just wanted to, and I bought a mug, and I wish I had this thing. It says Salisbury Beach. I bought a hat. I'm all in. I was all in. It was good to go back and sort of, connect with my past. This is done. Oh, I was going to talk about the song Hey Joe. That's going to 34. Well, in Maine. And then we're getting on. In Maine, I was in the water, and then all of a sudden everybody was out of the water. And I'm like, what's going on? And there was a shark! They put up a shark flag. I go, what? A little shark swim? They go, no, great white. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm off the beach. And that for the rest of the day, nobody was allowed in the beach because there was a shark. I saw the picture. A shark gnawing on a whale carcass. So that was kind of cool. Came very close to dying. Came very close to having, and that shark would bite my leg, and they'd drag me out on the beach, and I'd have 5 minutes. 5 minutes of just, nothing matters anymore. Yeah, go ahead, everybody. Videotape my bleeding leg and my fat gut jiggling about. Go ahead. I don't care. I'm going to be dead. I'd like to put everything I ever wrote, everything I ever did in a big pile and just torch it. I'm already digitally deleting a lot of my past right now. I'm already preparing for my out. Celebrity, shut up! Celebrity, shut up! People I admire and respect, stop fucking up. Woody Allen was one of my biggest influences in regards to comedy writing. Can I mention him? No. Can I put him in the video of the people that influenced my... No. And I'm sure many of you feel the same way about Bill Cosby. What is going on? Eric Clapton keeps coming out as an anti-masker. Listen. A great expression, stay in your lane. You play music, shut up. Like, you notice, I don't really get into politics. I think people probably know where I stand, but I don't say it. I'm here to show you how we're all similar, how we're more similar than dissimilar. See what I did there? I took the word similar and I put DI in front of it and became dissimilar. Might have been even DISS. I don't know. But we're more alike. Can we start going back to being more alike? Is anybody happy nowadays? Do you walk around and see joy in anybody's faces? Seriously, do you see joy? Do you see couples holding hands? Do you see people kissing anymore? Do you see people laughing? Do you see groups of kids laughing? I don't. I see people serious and upset. The world's too heavy. Eric Clapton in the 70s went on a racist rant during a show, telling all the people to, where are the foreigners? Get out of the country. Went after African Americans. I think he went after probably Jews. In fact, somebody said in the flesh, Pink Floyd's, where are all in the song, they say, I'm quoting the song, where are the queers tonight? Get them up against the wall. Where are the Jews? Where they get them up against the wall? That's based on this rant by Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton is one of my heroes that got me through high school with the Rolling Stones. I saw Eric Clapton once. I was outside eating on La Brea at a French, there's a great store. It used to be like a clothing store and household goods, really upscale. And then in the back, they had like this little counter and they served French food. And then out front, you could sit too and you could pay, $19 for a $7 salad. It was really, what a great setup that is. Anyway, I look up and there's Clapton. And I had to say something. I had to. So I looked at, I got up, I crossed paths, and I just looked at him. I said, thanks. And he nodded his head and he said, you're welcome. He got it. I didn't have to say, I'm a huge fan. You got me through high school. He doesn't give it. He doesn't care. Just like when you come up to me after a show. Just like when Robbie's wife, Robbie's wife said, you really meant a lot to Robbie. This is, by the way, my second friend that has died in the last month or two. And someone related or close contacted me and said, I don't think you realize how much you meant to that person. And I said, no, I didn't know. I didn't know, but it's nice to hear. Yeah, a couple of friends have died. And not COVID related, either of them. Cancers and stuff like that. So I just want my 5 minutes. So I have all these boxes in my basement. Let me get back to this quickly. And I was going through them. I got super sort of emotional. I was really proud. I was, of course, sad that this career didn't take me further. Although I've made a living. I've done very well and I have touched a few people. And now this podcast, I've decided this podcast, it's like almost, I'm a professor and I'm teaching at a university and I've got my small, my small class, several hundred people listening. And that's it. This is, reaching thousands of people, but not, hundreds of them. I'm not in the discussion. I think that's what bothers me. I'm not in the comedy discussion. I'm not, when people discuss Boston comics, they discuss certain people. They don't discuss me. I'm not in the discussion. I think people respect what I do. And when I was looking at these boxes, I was like, wow, man, I really put a lot into this. I really did. I gave it a shot. I love it. And it kept me busy and it probably kept me sane. I wish all of you find in life something you can do like this. It keeps your mind occupied and is satisfying. But I'm sick of injustice. I need to get into this book, The Sociopath Next Door. And I'm not going to, you have all these clips. I'm going to push this to 34, I guess. Episode 34. I failed. Because I watched a couple of documentaries. I watched the Fry Festival again with that guy, Billy. I don't even want to say his last name. Disgusting. Sociopath. Harvey Weinstein, probably a sociopath. I'm not a doctor. Bill Cosby. These people that hurt people and don't seem to care. They don't have a conscience. Then I watched this movie. I never even heard of this guy, Peter Nygaard, a designer in Canada, raping women, holding them down and raping them and getting away with it. Jeffrey Epstein getting away with it in his lifetime. How do these people get away with this? Looks like Bill Cosby's kind of getting away with it, right? He just got released. Now, I'm not there. I don't know if these people did it, but when multiple accusers come forward, it seems to sort of paint a picture to me, and the story all seems to be the same, and they haven't sort of been together. And I mean, it's just, you'd see these victims telling stories, and they're so emotional. They're going to vomit telling these stories. They're going to tear up. You can see it in their bodies. Even Meryl Streep can't act that great. There just seems to be a preponderance, if that's even a word, of evidence against all these people. And they might be sociopaths. According to this book, Martha Stout, PhD, The Sociopath Next Door, 1 in 25 ordinary Americans secretly has no conscience and can do anything at all without feeling guilty. 1 in 25. In Los Angeles, it's probably 1 in 5. That's why I wanted to research this, was because I said, I think everybody I know is a sociopath. They just don't care about other people. They have no conscience. If you have a conscience, like I believe I do, what happens is when you leave a party, you think, I shouldn't have said that to that person. That upset that person. Like, you have reflection. You're up in the middle of the night. You're ruminating. You're upset. You don't want to steal from people. You don't want to cheat people. Having a conscience actually probably prevents you from being more successful. You can be pretty successful in this town if you're willing to cheat people and be charming. There's a lot of charming people. I'm very suspicious of charming people. When I meet charming people, I think, this person's too nice. And Martha Stout calls it the seventh sense. The seventh sense is having a conscience, that moral voice, which most of us have. Most of us have it. And you don't think about it. It's a reflex. Now, why we have that, I don't know. She gets into it in the book. Is it biological? Is it because of upbringing? And why have we evolved to have this when actually you could probably be more successful? And if it comes down to you versus somebody else in the wild, you should have no conscience to survive and beat that person. But a lot of people have no remorse, no regret. They don't feel guilt. They're hollow. Now, it doesn't mean, she says this, it doesn't mean that when we think of sociopaths, we think of people that commit murders and do horrible crimes. There are a lot of sociopaths. Here's the scary thing. Let me quote from the book. Here's the scary thing. A lot of the sociopaths, I earmarked all this. And I'll go over this probably in 34, but the sociopaths, we can't recognize them, but they can recognize us. They know who isn't a sociopath. She calls it antisocial personality disorder. 4% of the population, that is to say 1 in 25 people have this condition, this psychopathy. Let's see. But what does 4% really mean to society? Well, listen to this. I don't want to go over all the facts, but higher profile disorders classified as schizophrenia occur in only 1% of us. 1% of schizophrenic. And that's considered alarmingly high. Put more succinctly, there are more sociopaths among us than people who suffer from the much publicized disorder of anorexia. 4 times as many sociopaths as schizophrenics, and 100 times as many sociopaths as people diagnosed with a known scourge known as colon cancer. Wow. Beware of charming people. I have a lot of notes to go over. Let me play some of the video here. This is Martha Stout herself, the author, and she's going over a couple of the facts here in regards to sociopathy.
Most people without a conscience are never violent.
There you go.
And in the end came out with what I thought was a startling 4%. And I assumed, actually, when I published The Sociopath Next Door, that there was going to be an outcry from my fellow psychologists and from clinicians in general saying that this was way too high a figure. In point of fact, every single person who's involved in mental health that I've heard comment on it has said that they feel that the figure is too low.
Oh, great.
That surprised me.
Great.
And I think this goes back to how invisible sociopathy is.
Sociopathy. What a great word. It's invisible. In other words, they're great actors. She talks about it in the book. So here's what's happened on this podcast. I was supposed to briefly discuss this or have more sort of have it all my thoughts more congealed. I got overwhelmed. Again, I go into I should probably do a podcast when I have nothing to say, because now I have too much to say. And we're over an hour now, and I don't want these podcasts to be too long and too intense. I want it to be more sort of light, but unfortunately the world is not that light anymore. And I keep I'm cleaning the dust off of my soundboard, and then when I watch the video, I go, why am I doing that? I look so stupid. I look so stupid. I forget there's a video playing. Sociopathy. So let's get back to stuff.
Even mental health professionals, it's very difficult to see, because one of the fundamental parts of it is deception, is looking normal. And a bright sociopath, even one of just normal intelligence, can go far in appearing normal.
There you go.
Sociopaths even sometimes study acting techniques,
Oh, great. The sociopaths have done more acting lessons than me. But they know. I think I've dated a sociopath, like legit, because they can't love. In fact, the only reason you would think that they love you is because they need something from you, which is to feel loved. I think. It's very intense. It's very lily-livered. But there are a lot of charming people. Be careful of these people that are charming.
How to produce crocodile tears at will, that kind of thing. Trying to read faces.
Yeah, like that Peterson guy that killed his wife, right? Fake tears. He doesn't give a shit. People kill people for life insurance. People just kill people. People cheat people. In the book, she goes over so many examples of people that, like, at work will sabotage somebody so they advance their career without any sort of remorse for what they've done to that person. In fact, they enjoy it. It's called covetous. There's the covetous sociopath. And this person, what they do is they get joy in knocking down people that are at a higher level. So these trolls, these people on the internet that are hurting people, they could be sociopathic. They could be doing it for no other reason than they're envious that you have something, and they want to take that away from you. It's really probably not a topic for a comedy podcast.
Sociopaths.
This is Martha Stout, PhD doctor, went to Harvard. I respect anybody that teaches at Harvard. I think she went there. She's the author of this book, The Sociopath Next Door. The reason I read the book was Anne, an elderly neighbor of mine, was having trouble with one of her neighbors, and she said, you got to read this book. It's an easy read. Well, it's not an easy read for me, because this is what I did all vacation. I'm on the beach reading this heavy stuff, highlighting I'm an adult, and I probably study harder than kids in college, because my quest to learn, I can't satiate. It will never end, I guess. This is the doctor talking about sociopathy. Just so proud of him to say that word.
I say they're not always violent.
I couldn't say monitoring earlier.
And they certainly are not always at the lower levels of society. And, in fact, a very intelligent sociopath can, at first, probably go faster and higher than a lot of normal people. Try to imagine what you could do if you had absolutely no conscience and it didn't care about whom you hurt or what you hurt, and you had no limits at all to what you could think of to promote yourself.
Think about that. Because they have, psychologists have asked people, if you could be without a conscience, would you elect that? And most people say no. And one of the reasons is it gets really boring. You feel really alone. And you want to have a conscience. But there's somebody listening right now that is a sociopath. And they can hide it. That's the scary thing. It's scary to think about. 1 in 25 people don't mind hurting you, even at a small level. And you wonder why the world's a little bit messed up right now, because these people suddenly have a voice with the internet and they can attack you. I mean, it took me a long time to understand why I was being attacked on social media or the internet. Question everybody. Question that charming person. Question why people lie and don't care. Well, they cheat you. They steal from you. They do anything. And the covetous sociopath is the one that wants to knock you down just for the sake of knocking you down. Back to Martha Stout, Dr. Stout.
Something on the order.
And this is from a podcast. I'll put the link up. I wish I had the name right here. I don't.
Of 60-70% of sociopaths are addicted to alcohol or some other substance. It's as if they're trying to numb themselves from the chronic boredom that they feel, having no emotional life whatsoever. Many of the crimes that sociopaths commit aren't crimes that are on the books. They're not legal crimes.
Yeah, they're crimes of the heart.
Crimes of the heart, by and large, and even when there's somewhat more than that, it's difficult to prove it or to accuse the person of something that is actionable in a court of law.
So, yeah, most of them never face a penalty. This scares me, especially living in Los Angeles. This scares the shit out of me because I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of sociopathic behavior. People that just don't care. People that will do anything to get ahead, and they're charming, and they fool. People have asked me, because I talk about this privately with people, and they said, why do you fall for the charming person? I said, I don't know what it is. There must be a need inside of me to be accepted, or I want to believe what they're saying. And they know it. They look at me, they go, he's a mark. What a sucker he is. What a sucker he is. But like, when I watched the Fry Festival, and this guy is collecting people's money, knowing that this festival will never be pulled off, knowing that the catering is not going to be what it's going to be, the accommodations, and just takes it right to the end and doesn't give a shit. And then even after he is arrested, he starts scamming people again. He doesn't care about people. That's sociopathic. This designer, Peter Weingard, raping women, reportedly. Watch that documentary. It's on the Discovery Plus. There's a plug for you, Discovery Plus. So do you have a seventh sense? Do you have a conscience? Are you moral? Do you have that little voice saying, don't do this? That's wrong. Do you throw trash out your car window and not give a shit? Do you think, how does my behavior affect other people? Do you think when Robbie passed away, you think about his wife and what she must be going through? Or do you not? Because for years I thought people were just selfish and they knew or cared, but overrode that emotion. But apparently, no. 1 in 25, 4%. Are you in the majority or the minority? And it's one of those things where the minority can wreak more havoc than the majority. It only takes a few, what do they say, bad apples? All it takes is one guy coughing on the plane, and that's it. That's it. You're back to COVID. Oh, I wanted to kill that guy. I just wanted to kill that guy. If I don't have to fly again, I'd be so happy. Like, as I return to stand-up comedy, couple things. Flights are more expensive than they've ever been. They're more full than they've ever been. When you land at LAX, I landed at 10 p.m. on Monday night. I thought, have we been snowed in for 3 days? There were people, you couldn't move. There wasn't 2 feet between you and another person at any point in this airport. You couldn't, it was a parking lot getting picked up. It's traveling has become a nightmare. Nobody cares. Doesn't matter what status you have. Doesn't matter what cabin you're in. Sit down, shut up, put your mask on. And we don't care. It's become like the subway in New York City. People punching each other. It's chaos. So I get off at LAX, and I see a long line. It's 10 p.m. 10 p.m. The airport's packed. These are all people going on red eyes. The shittiest of flights is the red eye. And Jersey Mike's has a line. I should have videotaped it. There must have been 75 people lined up for Jersey Mike's at 10 p.m. Maybe 100 people. It was so bad, there was a girl in the back taking a selfie showing the long line. And then there's 3 people behind Jersey Mike's making subs. One's at the register. How fast can they make the sub? How fast? How important is it to you? I want to do a documentary about the people in line waiting for a Jersey Mike's sub. First of all, it's 10 p.m. You had all day to get food. You couldn't get food and be prepared when you go to the airport? I do. I pack myself a lunch like a little boy because it's going to be healthy and it's going to be better quality and fresher, and I'm not going to stand in line. 75 people. Sometimes I see this in the morning for the coffee place. I go, I'd lose my mind waiting. I'm not patient enough to wait that long for coffee. Jersey Mike's, they're lined up. I said, they had all day. They show up. They're not prepared for they're going to sit there for 75 people? I wish I had the patience to sit there and watch, because I would have timed the average amount of time it takes to make a sub, and I would have calculated, and I said, when's your flight? You're going to miss your flight. You're going to miss your flight. And it's not going to be the quality of a Jersey Mike sub when you walk in and it's pretty empty and they can put some love and thought into it. These are 2 people that are sitting there going, oh God, I want to get out of here. I just want to get out of here. I was going to make another sub, another modification, I don't want to travel anymore. I'm sick of lines. I'm sick of waiting for my subs. Where am I going to get coffee? Sick of it. Here's the problem, okay? You want to know what's wrong with my formula? You want to know the dirty little secret why I still do stand-up comedy? It's because it's my oxygen. It's all I can do. It's pure joy when I'm up on stage. It's the 23 hours around it that are torture. That's why I keep doing it. Because I love seeing people laugh. Because I'm not a sociopath. Because I have the 7th sense. Because I care about every single person in the audience that night. And I want them to leave saying, we saw something cool. So I can't not do stand-up comedy. That's the problem. But I don't want to fly. I don't want to travel. I don't want to book hotel rooms anymore. I don't want to book flights. I don't want to have to find a place to eat. I don't want to have to deal with new management in every city, new wait staff in every city, new opening acts in every city, new personalities, new stages, new sound systems. I don't want to deal with that anymore. But what's wrong? I have no choice. And this isn't financial. It's all my heart. It's in my heart. That's what's wrong with Orny Adams. I'm stuck. Episode 33.
What's his name, Kev?
Orny.
Adams.
What's wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 33. What's wrong with sociopaths? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong. 1 in 25. That's scary. What's wrong with Larry Bird? Nothing. Thank you for playing for the Boston Celtics your entire career. Thank you for retiring on top. And thank you for being that great. I mean, really. What's wrong with the band Kansas? They don't have the violinist anymore. Rest in peace, buddy. Robbie Steinhardt, with a T at the end. Episode 5 of What's Wrong with Orny Adams is an interview with me and Robbie, so check it out for sure. Happy birthday, Robin Williams. You would have been 70. And what's wrong with reviewing and or sort of revisiting my past in boxes in the basement? Well, I'll tell you. Brings up a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions. So, anyway, thank you very much for listening. My name is Orny Adams, and I'm about to leave Big Yellow, the trailer right now, and my only goal is this: to stay away from 4% of the population that doesn't have a conscience. Thank you for listening.